And we don't want to keep fighting, and we don't want to keep arguing, and we don't want conflict. But the narcissists and the psychopaths, no matter what they say, they cannot live without conflict. They cannot exist without chaos. Their world is a ball of chaos. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. My name is Kita. This is Psychopath Exposure. Wanted to read a comment from Tim. Tim goes, "Don't waste your life with these people." He's talking about psychopaths and narcissists, by the way. "I wasted 29 years. I am 62 and never heard of narcissists before. I do know my wife was cruel and could not figure out what was going on. Found all the YouTubes on Narcs and it all made sense. Filed for divorce. An attorney said don't move out. We lived in separate rooms for a year and she abused me worse than ever during that time, or conversely refused to acknowledge my existence at times, although I still paid every bill. Silent treatment for months, and in the end she got 2 houses and I got an apartment. I tried to end it amicably, but she made it high conflict. $40,000 in attorney fees. Run for your life as soon as you recognize the signs. Your most precious commodity is time. Don't let them destroy you. There are no victims. There are only volunteers." Wow. Thanks for that, Tim. Man, $40,000 in attorney fees, 29 years down the drain. Well, highly doubt that those 29 years was eternal suffering. I'm sure you did amazing things throughout your life. It's just that the relationship was ass. Okay? We have to find that silver lining and really look back. And, okay, 29 years, but I did accomplish a lot of things. I did have good experiences. It's just that I was with a psychopath, narcissist, someone cruel and abusive. That part sucked. And I'm sure that the fact that that sucked, it also bled onto other areas of your life, of course. That's what happens. We're not that excited to do things, but we still do things. I'm sure you did things in 29 years, so let's not dismiss all the things that you did and all the experiences that you're still going to take back with you. And you're only 62, so you have a long life to live still. There's a lot of great experiences you're still going to have, things you're going to build and create, people you're going to meet, relationships you're going to form. You're going to impact people's lives in a great way. So it's not the end. But yeah, it sucks. And I want everyone here to know, some of us date these monsters for just 6 months to 10 months. Sometimes it's not even a year. And there are some people that are married to these demons for 20, 30 years at a time. Can you imagine how much you're suffering in just 6 months? Consider those that have been stuck with one for 10, 20, 30 years, even 40 years. I've had some clients in my coaching program, 40 years. And they had no idea what it was because, see, back in the day, information about psychopaths and narcissists wasn't as prevalent. Fuck that, I'm gonna change the word. It wasn't as available to us as it is now. As a matter of fact, I think there's just a little too much information on it. But whatever. I remember when I went through this, there wasn't much information on it, and shit. So you guys are lucky that all these YouTube channels exist. We got so many books on the topic now. We got Netflix shows on it. We got documentaries about it now. The term narcissist is being thrown around everywhere. So this is why so many people that have been stuck in a toxic relationship for 10, 20, 30 years are starting to find this information. Because back then, you wonder, why didn't they know about it before? Because it was not out there. It wasn't out there. Unless you were going through it, unless you were actually diagnosed. You were seeing a highly trained clinician, a psychotherapist. But now, because of the internet, we're able to a lot of times self-diagnose some of the shit that we have, or some of the shit that we're dealing with, you know, so that's also good. You know, it sucks to be living with someone and living in separate rooms, sleeping in separate beds, walking around the house like if you're a ghost, because the silent treatment is being employed and they will not speak with you unless they need to, and it's going to be limited words. These people that are doing this, they're living miserable lives, okay? Do not think that someone that's living with you and just giving you the silent treatment and abusing you, do not think that they're living a good life, because they are putting out negative energy. They have to tap into that dark place in order to unleash that hell onto you. And though it may seem that they're always tapped into that dark place or that dark space or that low frequency, it doesn't matter. They're still tapped into it. And that's why they're easily able to unleash hell on you time and time again. But they're not happy. And a lot of times they wish they could speak with you, but they just can't, because the disorder doesn't allow it. The disorder does not allow them to step away from their diluted, inflated ego and have a conversation with you, a real, deep, rational conversation with you. The disorder doesn't allow it. The disorder, if anything, inspires them to continue their spiteful, vengeful, vindictive behavior. Their disorder makes them see you as the enemy. Their disorder fuels their delusion. The delusion that they are the victims. And they will carry on with that delusion, and they will create a narrative so massive, slamming you, smearing your name to everyone that will give them an ear to listen. Then you finally take action. You file for divorce. And a normal person, if they were really unhappy with you, then they would agree, hey, you know what, this is the best course of action. We probably should get separated. And who the heck wants to go through all that litigation and for it to be chaotic? Like, I believe that most people want to do things amicably. I believe that most people would prefer for it to be a peaceful process. Okay? And if you're offering them a peaceful, amicable process, and they choose chaos, the writing's on the wall. You are dealing with a miserable, wicked person that does not have the ability to be happy. They just don't. At some point, when we get overwhelmed, we realize, man, you know what? I just got to put things down because I just need some peace and quiet. And for others, especially now with the phones, it may take longer to arrive at that realization that you need to just airplane your mode, turn off the TV, just put on some dim lights, light some candles, take your shoes off, and just start tidying up around the house in peace. Maybe put on some binaural beats in the background or some smooth, relaxing bossa nova type of music, like at the coffee shops, or You know, something that just relaxes you. In the background doesn't have to be too big, too loud. You know, and just start cleaning the area around you. Nothing stressful. I'm not telling you to start mopping the floor or anything like that. All of that is helpful sometimes too when you're heavily ruminating. But sometimes we just need to take some time to let things just settle down, slow down. And we don't want to keep fighting, and we don't want to keep arguing, and we don't want conflict. But the narcissists and the psychopaths, no matter what they say, they cannot live without conflict. They cannot exist without chaos. Their world is a ball of chaos. And they do this to themselves. They think they're the victims, and you know, sometimes they are victims, but they're not your victims. They're victims of themselves. They're victims of their own disorder, their own delusion. They do this to themselves. They self-sabotage. And they can't help it, and they do it time and time again. It sucks that it took you this long to get out, but brother, you got out. You got out, and that's huge, man. That is huge, because you could still be in it. And yeah, I always say there's, you know, victims and volunteers, you know, or you're a shooter or you're a victim. At some point, you got to start looking at yourself and say, hey, I'm choosing to stay in this situation. I'm choosing to stay in this relationship. I am choosing to put up with this abuse. When you finally get out, you're going to regret all the time that you spent in the shit. Because you're going to realize now, wow, that's all I needed to do to get out? Man, I could have done this sooner. It probably would have cost me a lot less. Would have been a lot cheaper. Time is money. Time is a commodity. You're not going to get time back. You're not. You're not. So take a good hard look at your situation, guys. Take a good hard look and ask yourself, do I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life? Do I want to be in this situation for another 10 years? Think of how bad things are going to be in another 10 years. If you stay in an abusive, toxic relationship with a user, with a psychopath, with a narcissist, someone that's not giving you any type of intimacy or validation. They do not acknowledge your existence. You're a waste to them. You are trash to them. And this is your partner. This is your partner. And at some point along the line, you start to rationalize, because the brain has to make sense of all this. And then you think, hey, well, I guess this is what marriage is all about. I guess this is just my life. Blah, 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 blah. And you just accept a mediocre existence. Well, you volunteered. You volunteered. Maybe had you taken some action, despite of how bad it would have felt, maybe the outcome of your life, the trajectory of your life would have changed, and now you would have been in a better place. But here's the good news. You can start today. You can start today. I also felt like I had wasted my life. I also felt like there was no hope. I felt hopeless and nihilistic. I did not enjoy waking up in the morning. I did not enjoy doing any of the things that I was good at. Any of the goals and life dreams that I had, they all turned to shit. I did not want to do anything. I would think about doing it, and I would get full of dread. I was like, what's the point? It was just this hopeless, nihilistic point of view. Until I started doing the work, until I realized, oh my God, I can make a different choice. This is a psychological trauma that I'm experiencing. I was working with my mentor at the time, and he would remind me every single day. And I did everything he told me to do, because I know he knew what he was talking about, because Man, how the hell did he know my story before I told him my story and completed all my sentences? And why is it that when I started reading the material, they too were telling my story? I was like, wait a second. These guys are on to something here. And I'm not about to question it. I'm not about to question it and think, oh no, this is the exception. She can't possibly be a psychopath. No, nah. F that. Not after what I saw, not after what I felt. I was the Grim Reaper, let me tell you. That was the Grim Reaper. I have never felt such cold in my life by standing next to someone. You know what it is to stand next to someone and all of a sudden you're shivering and it's hot outside and you're shivering and you're shaking. That's the same thing, right? Shivering and shake. Damn it. Once you get touched by the Grim Reaper, once you get touched by death, it's like, whoa, this is not a loving, trusting partner that I'm gonna have kids with. This is not someone that I'm gonna do life with. This is death, and they're coming for me, and they're right here, and everything in my life is losing its color. This can't be me. But at the same time, every single day that I chose to stay in that relationship, every single day that I chose not to terminate that relationship, well, this kept getting worse. And it was my choice. It was my choice. It was not a gun to my head. It was my choice. Sure, she had done a number on my brain, cognitive dissonance and all the crazy anxiety and the walking on eggshells. Sure, that's what psychopaths and narcissists do to our brains. But choice is still ours. The choice is still ours. And I just had to make that choice. But when you make that choice, you better believe you don't have one foot in and one foot out. You better believe you jump head first. That's a commitment, that's a leap of faith. You gotta go through that. You gotta go through that. If you have one foot in and one foot out, I promise you, you're gonna abort and you're gonna give the psychopath another chance, and they're gonna do it to you again. Believe me, they're gonna do it to you again. So, thanks for sending that in, Tim. Man, I wish you a great future. Like I said, you still have a long life to live. There's a lot of great things that you can do. Knowing what you know now, nothing's gonna stop you, brother. Nothing's gonna stop you. So keep plowing through, keep moving forward, never look back. Same goes to everyone here in the community. Keep moving forward. It does get better, I promise, but you gotta do the work, all right? If you need help with that, reach out. I have a coaching program where we can work together privately on a one-on-one Zoom meeting, work out all the nuances, have good conversations about this, get really deep, figure out what your sticking points are, what you're struggling with, why you can't get out of this, what your fears, so we can get you realigned, so you can walk out of hell, because you have to. You have to walk out of hell. Hell's not just gonna get removed. You're in there. You gotta walk out. All right, that's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's having an amazing day. My name is Kira. This is Psychopath Exposure. I will see you guys in the next video. That's all I got. Why are you still here? Go.